Alexander the Great fell seriously ill while marching to battle. No one was willing to risk treating him. Physicians feared for their lives if the medication proved ineffective. If they failed, they would be labeled as traitors and betrayers and be killed by the army. Alexander's trusted friend Philip came forward and offered help. Alexander received an anonymous letter saying that Philip had taken a bribe to kill him. The medicine being prepared and offered to Alexander by Philip contained a deadly poison. Alexander quietly placed the letter under his pillow and told Philip nothing about the letter. The next morning, Philip brought the medicine and Alexander gladly accepted this medicine. As he drank it, he quietly removed the anonymous letter from under his pillow and gave it to his friend Philip to read. Philip saw the letter with the charges against him, and his eyes were filled with tears. His friend Alexander the Great had trusted him against all odds. Alexander assured Philip that he had complete confidence and faith in his integrity. After 3 days, Alexander was well again. The medicine did not, in fact, contain any poison. Against all odds, Alexander trusted his friend Philip. Abraham, our father in faith, trusted God against all odds. Mary, our mother in faith, also trusted God against all odds. John Kavanagh tells of an incident when he spent a month working in one of Mother Teresa's homes and sought a sure answer to his future. He asked Mother Teresa, "Pray that I have clarity." She replied, "No," and added, "In my entire life, I never have had clarity. What I've always had is trust. So I will pray that you have trust." Abraham was a wanderer. God promised him land. Abraham and his wife Sarah were advanced in age. God promised them progeny. Land and progeny were very important for the Israelites. But nothing seemed to be working the way Abraham wanted things to work. He did not question God about his destination or about what was in store for him. Abraham dared to believe that he and Sarah would be blessed with a son even in their old age, and the promised land would be given to them. Abraham had every reason not to believe the promises made by God. Abraham dared to believe and trust in the promise of God, even though the events and happenings in his life were not favorable. Many of us believe when it is comfortable and convenient for us to believe. We believe when it is safe to believe. We hesitate and doubt when there are uncertainties and dangers involved. We believe that God exists, but we have our doubts if God will keep the promises He makes. Faith is not just believing that God exists, but believing that God keeps promises. Faith looks beyond the present moment to the future. One night a house caught fire, and young Justin was forced to flee to the roof. His father stood on the ground below with outstretched arms, calling his son, "Jump, Justin, I'll catch you." The father knew that Justin had to jump to save his life. All Justin could see, however, were flames, smoke, and blackness. He was afraid to leave the roof. His father kept yelling, "Jump, Justin, jump, I'll catch you." But Justin cried, "Daddy, I can't see you." The father replied, "But I can see you, Justin, and that's all that matters." Our Christian faith life enables us to face life not because we can see, but because we are seen. Not because we know, but because we are known. Not because we understand, but because we are understood. Not because we seek, but because we are sought. Not because we love, but because we are loved. At the close of life, the question will not be, how much have you gotten? But how much have you given? Not how much have you won, but how much have you done? Not how much we have saved, but how much have we sacrificed? It will be how much we have served, not how much we were honored. Jesus and the thief come at an hour we least expect. The similarity ends there. The thief comes to rob us. Jesus comes to surprise us with gifts. Like faithful servants, we must be always on the alert for His coming. To be alert means that we must be willing to renounce our rest, our sleep, our comfort, and our convenience. In the Gospel, Jesus speaks to our heart rather than to our head. The journey of faith in the following of Jesus would not always be in clear light. We have to walk through darkness. We have to live with fear of the unknown. The parable is about the faithful servants who are rewarded because they persevered in vigilance through the darkness of the night. We too are invited to do the same. Jesus encourages His disciples not to be afraid. Fear not appears 181 times in the Bible. God does not move mountains, but God gives us the strength to climb mountains. The disciples are told not to hoard for the future. Look at the birds of the sky, the lilies in the field. The actions of Jesus speak powerfully of the Master who is all the time ready to serve. In a stunning reversal of roles, it is the Master who serves the servants. Greatness is not to be measured in terms of wealth, title, or fame. Greatness is in knowing how to receive from God. Happy the disciple who has learned to be a servant, whose heart is humble enough to let the Lord be generous. The Book of Wisdom reminded the people of a sign of faith for all times, the feast of the Passover. The message is also for us who live in a secular world and a secular times that challenge our faith. The temptation is to go along with the majority, to behave so that we are considered modern in keeping with the changing times and fluid morals. Our faith will be tempted and tested, but we are called to hold on and believe that our God will bring victory from apparent defeat and will transform what appears to be disaster into a blessing. Amen.